Okay. How is everybody doing? Happy May, what is it? May 11th. I can't believe it's the middle of May already. Um, I decided to do a back to basics series for the team because I feel like we just came off of two 4K challenges, which were awesome, and then we're all in the Maria Dillard All Out Mayhem challenge, which has been super fun. If you're not in that, I hope you it's definitely not too late to enter. You can catch up. There are lots of great videos. Let me change my view. There we go. Stuff that I love that they have a lot of different leaders training. So there's lots of things. I've picked up lots of great tips. So if you're not in that, definitely get in. There's a link to it in the team page. It's also, if you're in Team Thrive Nation, there's also a link to the group. Even if you can't, like, your life does not allow you to do a boot camp right now, just the videos, they're short, they're super informative. You'll get lots of value. And I know I picked up lots of great tips. One thing that I'm using right now that's working like mad. And it's funny because I always kind of sort of did it. I wouldn't say that I was super consistent with it. I've always been consistent with birthdays. Like, that's just one of those things that's just more of a habit than anything. So, and well, what I picked up is with the birthday messages offering a free sample. Now, Mindy's not on here, but Mindy's a leader on our team that taught me about offering, and we used to do it like years ago when the birthday cake bars were out. Who remembers those? I wish they'd bring those back. But I would offer a birthday cake bar to my audience for their birthday, right? Well, Mindy started offering free samples, which I thought was a great idea, but I just could never, like, I don't know. For me, messaging and reach outs like that, it has to flow good with my chi. And I just could never like find that right verbiage. So I would dabble in it and then I wouldn't do it. But through the boot camp, somebody had done this verbiage that I was like, oh, that is $1 million tip right there. And I'm going to give it to you guys today. So what I do is I first send out the birthday, happy birthday. And if they reply, and most people will reply a thank you or something like that, I have another script that goes out that says, you're so welcome. I feel like during birthdays are the only way I get to connect with all my Facebook peeps. Like, how are you doing? What's new in your life? If they reply, so this is the only time they get this. If they reply to that, a lot of times they will say, like, how about you? Or how are you doing? Like, it's just the polite thing to do. I have like this script that's something like, doing good. Life feels like it's the Fast and the Furious, because that is absolutely what my life feels like right now. And then the second line, I say, hey, I'm running to the post office with some Thrive samples. Since it was just your birthday, I have some extra ones. Would you like one? It's so good. Write that down, guys. And it's so funny because it's just so magical how just a change in verbiage. I have shipped out more samples. And then what I do is when they come back and say, yeah, and then I say, would you like one? Have you ever tried it? Now, some people have tried it before. Some people are already Thrivers that I had no idea. But the ones that are like, yeah, actually, I've never tried it. I'll take one. I don't make them fill out the link or anything. They're kind of like a separate category for me, but that has been working like insane. And that's just a little tweak on verbiage that I got from this boot camp. And let me tell you, that will make me 100 grand. I'm just throwing it out there. Just that little tweak. So I can't stress enough joining these things. I know I threw it out to Sheila's 200K page that our team Zooms, I've always held the belief and just the belief that, like, one team, one dream. We're not our team Zoom is always open to everybody. So I had thrown it out to the Sheila's 200K chat about like, hey, we're doing this back to basics series. Feel free to share it with your teams if you feel like it. And I don't remember where I was going with that. Anyway, I highly encourage you to hear what other people have to say. I think that's where I was going. Sometimes it helps to hear different things. Sometimes it helps to hear from the same thing, but said just 3 words different from someone else. So I highly encourage you, even if you can't seem to fit it in your life to do a boot camp right now, join this, watch the videos as you can, because you may end up with that one little tip that makes you 100 grand. Because I know for how consistent I am with birthdays, that one little tip in sending out samples to getting them out to my Facebook crew, that will make me $100,000. 100%. So even if it's just a $10,000 tip, isn't it worth it to just hear what other people have to say? Okay, couple housekeeping tips. There's no team Zoom on Wednesday. Angie's vacationing, and she asked me to tell you guys that there will not be a team Zoom on Wednesday. And then I didn't see any promos drop for the weekend. I looked super quick just to make sure I didn't miss anything, but don't forget we're still on daily and weekly bonuses, and then the customer acquisition, like Carrie Ann said in Sheila's call, if you listen to it, you can literally write your own paycheck with this, guys. Like, you can give yourself such a nice big bonus raise with this daily bonus and weekly bonus, and then double dip into the customer acquisition bonus. And then I know Ange on Wednesday gave you guys some really great scripts to send out to people that haven't ordered and people that have ordered to get their referrals. So that's all on that. Drop in the chat if you have any questions on anything I just said. But I'm going to go into a back to basics series. Like I said, I feel like coming off the challenges, it's time to kind of get back to basics. And I'm going to try to squeeze it into 4 weeks. I actually have 9 different topics to talk about, and it may go 9 weeks, but I'm going to try to squeeze it into 4. But the first thing we're going to talk about is how to find people. I feel like in the effort of going back to basics, I feel like it's important for me to tell you, like, how I found people in the beginning is different than how I find people now. Not that how I found people in the beginning doesn't work. It 100% does. It's just different. Okay. So a lot of times I will do one-on-ones with you guys, and you'll say, well, how did you do this? Or how do you do this? And I mean, if you've had a one-on-one, you've probably heard me say this. How I did it in the beginning and where I was at your level is different than how I do it now. It doesn't mean it didn't work, but I'll tell you both ways. And you pick, like I've always said, I'm the leader that's going to teach you. There's many paths up the mountain. It's your job to figure out which one works for you. Okay. So get your pen and paper, because it's time to take some notes. You got to write this stuff down, guys. I love your smile, Awilda. It's right in the middle of my screen, and every time I look straight, I see your smile. Okay. So how I found people in the beginning. First, I was coached to do, and they didn't call it this in the beginning. I forget what they called it, but essentially it's our chicken soup list. If you've trained with the Evo Squad, you know about the chicken soup list. If you haven't trained with the Evo Squad, I'm going to tell you what it is. It is usually a list of 20 people, at least 20. It can be more than that. Oh, I just spilled that on my shirt. Thanks. No, I didn't even realize I spilled my Boost. This is my Brazilian cocktail, guys. This has Boost, Rebuild, Pink Pro, and Activate in it. I call it my Brazilian cocktail. But anyway, I just spilled it on myself. Right, regardless, I digress. Okay, so the chicken soup list is that list of people, your closest humans, that if you got sick tomorrow with the flu, couldn't get out of bed, and you needed chicken soup, who would you call? A better example is if you found out you were pregnant today, who would you call? Who would be those first people that you would be like, holy shit? Excuse my language, but who would those be? You know, Christy, you're laughing, but who would you call if you found out today you were pregnant? Like, I mean, really, there is a small group of people. Those humans genuinely just love you. Okay. They just love you. So 911, right? That's funny. So those people are usually your closest humans, and they genuinely just really do love you. So if you have not talked about Thrive to those people, those are the people you need to talk to. Okay. Those would be those first people. Now, I'm not saying your friends or family are going to support you in business. I'm the one that's always posting on my stories, like the followers versus non-followers in Instagram who support my posts. And it's so indicative of this business. It will take your friends and family a heck of a lot longer to support you than it will strangers on the internet. But you got to start somewhere. And a lot of times out of that group of people, you can at least get your first two people to get your referrals. Okay. Now I taught a hot market strategy in the 4K group, 4K challenge. And if you missed this, I want you to also write this down. And I got this from Eric Worre. He is my business coach. I'm in his next level mastermind. I forget what it's called. But anyway, he actually taught this and I thought it was brilliant. So hot market strategy. This is those people that you know, okay? Your cousins, the people you went to high school with that you talk to, your coworkers are another great option for this. But again, you want to make a list of 20 to 40 people. And this is what you want to say. And I'm going to kind of fire hose you. Anybody needs the recording. Our recordings go up on YouTube. They're 100% public. So y'all can catch the recording later. But essentially what you want to do is you want to first tell them that you appreciate their friendship. You appreciate that they've always been in your life. So compliment them. Like, hey, I appreciate you've always been there for me. You're always the one, to ask if I need lunch when you run for lunch, or you're always the one that's willing to run for coffee for me before I became a Thriver, that kind of thing. That's that coworker that you're like, life would be so much worse if you didn't show up for work. That person or those people. Okay. So thank you so much for always supporting me. I started this thing. I'm in love with this product. I would really love it. This is the key here. I'd really love it if you would be my customer, become my customer just once. Just once. That would mean the world to me. I'd really love it if you'd become my customer just once. If you love the products, great. I'll teach you how to get more. I can even show you how to get it for free with referrals. If it's just okay or just so, maybe it'll replace something you're already using. And I'm not saying they have to buy the 3 steps. They could be using probiotics that, and then they get Balance and Biotic. They could be, who's not using a collagen product these days if you're a woman? Like, come on, we have so many good collagen products. And the other thing you could say, if you don't like it, I won't ever ask you again. No pressure. No crazy auto ships you're locked to, but it would really mean the world to me if you just be my customer once. And that you can also get people from. You will get people that'll say, yeah, sure. If I'm not locked into a crazy auto ship, if you promise to leave me the hell alone if I don't like it, I promise to leave you alone. I won't ever ask you again. But if you just be my customer just once, that's a great way to find people. That's also a great reach out for your Facebook list. Now, this is not something I did in the beginning, but I know it would have worked. Like in the beginning, when I had less than 300 Facebook friends and I was, they were pretty much more market people I went to high school with, people I had worked with, people at former jobs, people that I met through the kids' school. There's just like warm market. Okay. When I got started, I had less than 300 Facebook friends. That would have worked if I would have just mass messaged that. Because I know what I did in the beginning. I messaged everybody. I learned to print out my Facebook friends list and I got to work. And I just kept messaging and running through the list and growing my network and running through the list and growing, you know what I mean? That's what I did. I messaged everybody. And I messaged them cheesy shit. Like, girl, I gotta get you thriving with me. I feel amazing. Are you ready to get started? Like, that was a message. That was a copy and paste I sent to every single person on my Facebook list. Guess what? I got customers from it. I got customers from it. I know that if I would have used that script, I probably would have gotten more because that one is really good. Really, really, really good. So that's another way to find people. Print out your Facebook list. If you are on the Evo squad, or if you're watching this and you're not, I mean, we coach this all the time. You have to be talking to people in DMs. I'm not saying cold, yucky, spammy messages that make your skin crawl. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to be talking to people, because I can't tell you how many times I was doing exactly what I coach, because I do exactly what I coach. And I only coach what I know works or what I found to work. I can't tell you how I'm looping through my Facebook list, how people are like, I've been meaning to message you. I've been meaning to ask you what's that patch you're wearing, or I've been meaning to ask you, does that stuff really work? Do you really feel as good as you say? So loop through that Facebook list, get it on autopilot, do X amount of messages. I remember in the beginning, when I learned to do reach outs, was a 12K. I was going for 40. Okay. I heard a team call where Sheila Fistoni said when she went 40K, she made it a goal to do 30 reach outs a day. And these were direct messages. These were like, I got to get you thriving with me. These weren't happy birthday. So success leaves clues. And I'm like, all right, I can do that. And I would blow through my Facebook list every 2 weeks doing that. And I'd print it out again. And I learned to print it out again, because there's nothing that kicks you in the guts more is if you don't do that and you go back through the same list and you see people unfriended you because you messaged them. That's why I'm like, dude, throw the paper away and just print it out again, because you don't need to see that. You won't even miss them. Trust me, you won't miss them. You won't even know if you don't look. So print that list out again. Plus, something I learned not in the beginning, but after I hit 200K that I 100% coach to do in the beginning is grow your network every day. You have to grow your network every day. So if you're printing out a new list, then you're capturing those new people, but get it on autopilot. Get it so that you could, and then when it got bigger and I was running for big bonuses like we just got done with, and my goal was to get through my Facebook list once a month. And if that meant 5,000 friends, that meant 200 reach outs a day. Even if that reach out was just a happy birthday, like that was their reach out for the month, if it was their birthday. You have to talk to people, print out that Facebook list. Another way to find people is you have to post on social media. You cannot build on social media if you're not posting about a product you love and an opportunity you love. You have to. People think I quit thriving because right now my posting consistency has been off. And even before this, I had somebody, when I was super consistent, say, I followed you for 3 years. I didn't know you were a thriver. You have to post. Don't feel like you're posting too much, because you're not. Okay. So that's what I did in the beginning. I went through my Facebook list, printed out my Facebook list, messaged people every day about it. Now I don't do that as much. I focus on new people, new followers, new friends, and I have conversations with them. So I do less of the reach out and more of the having conversations with either what comes through on my call to actions. So now my reach outs are going to be birthdays and talking to my new friends and followers. And I get orders from those people because they're new people to my message. Okay. Posting with call to actions, specifically reels. I probably have 72 samples out right now between the birthday thing and my reels. but you got to post call to actions, and then just having organic conversations with them, not dropping the sale when they don't reply to me, or not dropping the ball when they don't reply to me about their sample. I have them in a very specific follow-up funnel for my samplers, all the way from like that. I saw that their sample was delivered. I check in them when I know they're day 1, day 2, day 3. I always do loop back 100%. If they stop messaging me, they get the loop back. And then if they just ghost me, I take it away. Hey, let me know if you want to keep chatting about this, because I'm not going to keep bugging you. But then they go into, because I have all of this in Project Broadcast, they go into a tag for customers that have never ordered, and then I drip on them every time there's a sale. So how I do things now is different than how I did things in the beginning, but it all works. The other thing I would have to say 100% works is selling in your stories with links. So talking on your story with links, whether you link your samples or link your trial packs or link your customer register link, it would be your referral link / I think the register is where they can like create an account with links like that, or the sample links. That's how I find people to buy the product, is through my stories a lot. Samples, the sample system is another really great way. I see they're bringing back Thrive and Mingles in June. I hope they bring back the reward system the way they had it. I'm super excited about that. I hope you guys saw that. But samples are definitely a way to get orders. I would say all of my orders right now come from samples. All of them. Lives are still something that works, have always worked, but it's a great way to find people, because people will connect with you better because they can see your personality through live video. They can see your personality. They can see the excitement in your face. They can hear the excitement in your voice. They can hear how much you love the product. Energy is a real big thing and comes through a lot on lives. Groups is another place you can find people. I'm going to be real transparent. That's not anything I'm good at, but there are lots of trainings within Le-Vel on groups. And if that's your jam, it's a great way. I know 200K teams that were built by prospecting in groups and finding people in groups, making friends outside. Like, there are 200K teams that have been built that way. So it is 100% something that works. I just know my limitations. That's not my thing, but there's tons of trainings you can find. The other really important part in finding people is staying consistent. You have to stay consistent. You cannot expect people to trust to buy from you if you're not staying consistent. And I'm telling you, I'm a living example of that. My PPA last month, I just posted it, was 4, which some of you would love that, but that's really low for me. And that's only because my consistency has been down. You have to stay consistent. It takes 80% of your network they need 12 to 20 impressions, like buyer psychology. They need 12 to 20 impressions about your product or buying or business opportunity to make a buying decision. Most people, like statistically, quit between 3 and 5. So staying consistent, always staying in the grind, and making sure you're doing all the things. Go back to that 3-legged stool. You can't just be throwing up posts and not talking to people in the DMs. It doesn't work that way. You can't just be throwing up posts and not engaging with others. It doesn't work that way. Your posts are not gonna get engagement. They're not gonna get traction if you're not being social on social media. So remember that 3-legged stool training. You could be throwing up the best content in the world. If it's not being seen, it's not being seen. It's not going to work. So if you throw up posts or reels or whatever, and you have like low views and no engagement, I mean, in coaching calls, if I see that, I know exactly what your problem is. You are not engaging with others. You have to engage with others. And then the last thing I'm going to touch on is you need to talk more about your product, what your products do, and less about what they are. I see lots of people making posts, but you're making posts as product posts. And what you need to do is talk about what the product does. Because your audience doesn't care and for the most part, they don't really care about ingredients. I mean, some people do, but I also feel like I feel like that ingredient thing, well, let me see the ingredients, is more of a objection just to be overcome. And once you show it to them, they're like, they don't really care. They want to know. It's almost like a way to put you off just a little bit, but it's their way of saying, I need more information, but you got to talk about what the products do for you, how they help you get out of bed every morning, how they help you function every morning, how they wake you up, how they help you sleep if you're a sleep product person, how I can't get over how thick my hair has gotten post hair extensions because of the collagen I use. Talk about what your products do and less about the product itself. So that's what we're going to end it there on how to find people. I gave you tons of ideas on how to find people. Next week, our topic is going to be presenting and how to pop the question. So how to take, once you find people, now what do you do with them? Kind of conversation we're going to have. I hope you guys found this value. Does anybody have any questions about anything I just covered? No? All right, I'm going to stop the recording.